to the issue of, hey, we're not giving investment advice here. We are all capital allocators and startup creators. So we're talking about our day-to-day lives here. Nobody should interpret this as investment advice. And especially not in a world now. I don't know if you guys saw what happened with Rivian this week. I don't know how we don't talk about a company with essentially no public sales. They've sold 148 cars to their employees. It's worth $120 billion. Any Friedberg, did you see this IPO? Any thoughts on it?
Seems like
or in general, do you have investment advice for the audience that you'd like to give? Tell me what Rivian does.
Wait, can you play that video that you found that you shared with everyone? You have that video queued up?
Okay, well, we do have it. We could queue it up. Did you see this yet, Sacks?
Who is this guy?
No, I haven't. Oh, that. Yeah. Well, but just so I don't want to beat this point to death, but I just think it's so important for the audience that what they should be getting out of the show, if they're fans, is maybe like advice on how to think.
Yeah,
or like
critical thinking.
Critical thinking and
critical
like how
thinking.
we think about investments,
First principles.
Tips.
Yes.
Exactly. So look, if you want to invest in crypto, first of all, like go understand like what all these different projects or blockchains do and figure out what is the purpose of the token in that system. What are the token economics?
What's the utility?
Does it even make sense or is it just a scam? Then if it's something like a blockchain, go research how many projects have developers on them and how much code is being checked in.
And maybe open a wallet and buy some NFTs and buy some ETH and transfer it and learn just how to set up your internet connection.
Right.
If this was 1995.
Right, exactly. And then on top of all that, you got to consider macro forces because, I mean, and I think, my friends at Multicoin would fully concede this, that, it could be the case that if there's a crypto bust over the next year, and this thing, crypto has gone through boom and bust cycles for many, many years.
That is the standard.
It's the standard. So you could have a situation in which, for example, Solana flips ETH and yet still goes down in value because there's an overall bust cycle. So, you have to consider the macroeconomic factors as well. So there's a lot of things to consider here. And then you also have to consider your own risk tolerance and, what is appropriate for your portfolio. And it may be
when
different.
When do you need your money? Are you a 25-year-old?
Everything is at all-time highs and the two smartest men in the world are selling.
Not just them, by the way. There are other guys that are heavily on the other side waiting for this whole thing to go. Like Druckenmiller has been very vocal about this. And he's been the best macro trader in the last 30 years. So,
and his position is what exactly?
That we're printing too much money and we're in a lot of trouble. So, look, I mean, generally there is, I think a good point of view being shared here, which is, understanding how to think about what you're investing in and what your expectations are versus relying on someone's advice or opinion on what to do. If you have to rely on someone else's advice or opinion on what to do, you're going to eventually lose money.
You should not be in that investment category.
You should not be in the market because guess what? Anyone that's giving you advice or opinions is going to make money if you do what they tell you to do. If you do what they tell you to do. End of story. So at some point, they're going to all make money and you're going to end up losing money. And it's a better game to play to learn how to kind of be thoughtful about where's your money going, what are you investing in? And it takes a lot of time and a lot of money. I've been sitting here silently as you guys have been talking deeply about Solana and Ethereum and Bitcoin and the crypto markets, because I realized so much of what's needed to be successful in entering this market is a depth of understanding and a depth of knowledge. My time is highly limited. I have spent no time on understanding crypto markets because it's so deep and it's so fluid. It's changing every day. It's changing every week. So if I can't get smart enough to feel confident about the opinions and decisions that I would be making as an investor, I decide not to invest and I stay out. And so I'm not an active crypto investor.
And you're a specialist and you're on the razor's edge on synthetic biology and so many other
whatever
categories.
It is, there are other areas where it's better for me to spend my time and my energy. Yes. And I've chosen to do that versus being drawn into what feels like a very exciting kind of, turbulent time. There are other areas that I kind of spend my time on, and I just kind of try to recognize that maybe I don't know what I'm doing if I were to try and get involved here. And so I'd rather stay out. And I think that's counsel for anyone. If you're going to make an investment, it's important to feel confident about the knowledge and the depth needed to kind of be different than the rest of the market.
I'll build on your point. Like when I started doing my SPACs, I started to write these one-pagers, and those one-pagers were artifacts for me to hold myself accountable for how I saw something in a moment in time, and then to be able to see whether it was tracking to that. And then also to share it to other people, a starting point, as David said, a journey where they should then, if they're curious, go and do their own work. It turned out not enough people were doing the work. So then I had to start adding disclaimers to these things saying, hey guys, I'm not telling you to buy this. Please be abundantly clear. These next SPACs that I will eventually launch, you're going to see an entire, like in red block letters, like, please don't buy this.
Right.
Because to your point, it doesn't matter what you say. People want a lazy, easy way out. And so I just want to reiterate what all of you guys said. None of us are dispensing advice. We are not telling you to do anything. Please do your own work and please come to your own conclusion. It is your responsibility. And if you're not sure, go and look at your children in the face or your significant other in the face. You are responsible to them. And so do your own work.